Guys, thanks for tuning in. This is Optibotimus coming to you with another video review. And today we're going to be taking a look at the new DC Collectibles Two-Face from the new Batman Adventures. As you can see for the packaging, it's a little bit different than what we got with Catwoman. As I said, this is part of the Batman Adventures line as opposed to the Batman animated series. So it's a similar look, but it's changed a little bit. But with Two-Face here, I really think they did a pretty good job of recreating both the new adventures as well as the original animated series. For the package, you got a nice open window right here. You got 75 years of Batman. You got Two-Face written along the side there. You can see that he's figure number 2 in the wave. And one thing that's really cool is very much like the Matty Collector figures, there are air holes in here. So if you wanted to leave this mint in package, the air on the inside won't get stale and damage the figure at all. So I really do like that. Come on here to the back though. You can see very simple back. All it is really is the silhouettes here of Batman, Robin, and Nightwing. Nothing else, which is kind of weird. But I mean, honestly, a lot of us are going to open this, so who really cares anyhow? Down here, you got the DC Comics information, as well as some warnings and contact details and things of that nature. But for the packaging, that's about it. For it is nice. In this first wave, we got 3 of the new Adventures versions of characters from Batman, and only one, that being Catwoman, that represents the animated series. So these ones I'm a little bit less impressed with. But like I said, Two-Face here does have a really nice resemblance to that animated series character, so it doesn't bother me all that much. But for the packaging, that's about it. So without further ado, let's get him open and see how cool he actually is. Alright guys, so here we have Two-Face open up and out of his packaging. And despite the fact that he's part of the new Batman Adventures, he really does have a very striking resemblance to how he looked in Batman in the animated series. It's a little bit different, mostly in the proportions of the body, but that was very true with a lot of the characters. It kind of kept a lot of that same original look, but slightly tweaked the art some, giving us what you have before you. Now for his accessories, just like all the other ones, getting him to stand is going to be a chore, and you'll find out why here in a minute. He does come with the display stand. You got the separate piece right here with the actual clip that kind of holds him in place, but then you have the turnaround here with the new Batman Adventures logo there, a front view, side view, as well as a back angle. And then you got, like I said, the little clip right here that can adjust up and down just like so. You can peg it right in there. Well, if I can find the right, there we go. Get that in just like so. You can move that up and down just like so. This whole section can slide in, slide out, and you can also extend this out to kind of grasp around the waist of the figure or something like that. So you do have that. In addition to the 2 hands he has on there, he comes with a couple extra ones. I'll show those off here in a minute. He's got a both right and left fisted hand, but as you can see, they're in the different colors, which is absolutely perfect considering it's Two-Face. He's got a left hand that is kind of open just like this. There's nothing special about this, but his right hand actually has his coin on there, which is absolutely a wonderful piece. And it's absolutely wonderful that we have this. I mean, it really is a very iconic piece for him, and it needed to be included. I'm glad that they did it, and it's actually molded in there, so you don't have to worry about losing that or anything like that. I think that's a great way of including his coin, and it just basically works perfectly. Now, like I said, he does have the fist, but then for the body, he also does have a couple different hands that allow him to hold things. His right hand I just have kind of wedged in there holding his little bag right there, but his left hand here, as you can see, I have him holding his Tommy gun, so you get that out of the way. So you do have a both right and left hand that are designed to hold guns. Now, in addition to that, obviously I did show you the Tommy gun. It's just this solid gray piece of plastic. Nothing overly spectacular, but it's nice that he comes with a couple different guns, this being one of them, the other being just a regular handgun, and this one's molded in black plastic. But for the fairly simple colored piece, it works very nicely. And then he does come with a gas mask that, as you can see, you can put on there. It is a little bit problematic because when you're putting it on, what's actually holding it on is friction. So when you take it off, I'm kind of curious if it's going to scratch paint off at some point in time, but it's cool that he comes with that, because in addition to that, you also got his little case right here that when you open it, comes with 2 just round cylinders, one red, one blue, that I'd imagine that it's some kind of chemical that you can just put right back in there. close that up, and he can carry that around. He also does come with a little stopwatch kind of thing, which very tiny, very, very small, but again, a wonderful piece for him to have. As you can see, it's got two halves, one half black, one half white, which just goes along with his two-sided personality scheme, which I absolutely dig. And then we come to the figure himself, and again, like I said, he has a very simple look, but is very accurate to how it looked in this actual cartoon series. And when you compare him to how he looked in the, and you're going to find out one problem that I have, and that's getting him to stand. But you could see him actually standing a second ago. It's just, it takes some finagling. So when you get him here, here is actually my Two-Face figure from when I was a kid. So I do still have some toys from when I was a little bit of a kid. But you can see there is a similar kind of look between the two. Obviously, it's a little bit more stylized with the new Batman Adventures. And this is also a little bit more of a kind of bluish color, whereas this is just that straight white. But you can see very similar look in terms of the face and the design of the scarred up look for him, but really very fun and very cool. Now, there's a couple problems that I have with this figure. Number one, I don't know how well this is going to come across, but you can actually see that his white side of his leg is a little bit longer than the left side. That causes him to have a very hard time standing because it's not even. Even when you bring this down, you can see it's like almost like this section right here is up a little bit higher. You can kind of see, well, I don't know how well that's going to come across, but you can kind of see that this whole black section is up a little bit higher than this rounded white section, and that causes his leg to be a little bit longer on the white side than on the actual black side. So what that does is it makes him kind of topple over. So keeping his legs straight, you can see he leans a little bit. And that looks a lot more exaggerated on the camera than it actually is. But honestly, that's with both feet perfectly put on the ground. And you can see he's not straight. That's about where he should be. That's about where he is. And because of that, he absolutely will not stand. Now, he does have very small feet just in general, as you can see, but you definitely, at least for me, need to use this display stand to get him to stand up. It's very unfortunate that there are these quality control problems with these figures because they're not cheap. They're $25 or so depending on where you get them from. And a lot of the times, like I said, at least I mentioned it in my review of Catwoman, a lot of times these are bought at comic book stores that don't have a lot of these just laying around that in case you have something wrong, you can return it. I mean, he absolutely looks terrific all the way through. Has a very nice appearance to him. There is some spots on here that are a little bit scuffed up with the paint. I don't know, again, I don't know how well that's going to come across, but you can kind of see right there it's not all that clean of a paint, and it kind of bugs me a little bit, to be totally honest. Zooming in the wrong way. The other problem that I have is this is the only figure that I got that has the frozen joints. Now for his articulation, you can see the head is on a bit of a ball joint, so you get a little bit of pivot side to side, rotates left and right, can look up and down slightly. The shoulders move in on both sides just like so. They rotate all the way around. That's going pretty good on both of these sides. He bends here at the elbow, rotates also at the elbow. The wrists just rotate. Unlike Catwoman that had the joint that can move it forward and back like that, these don't. And you can see they're just pegs, so you just slide it in and out. He does rotate at the waist and have a little bit of a kind of ball joint, it almost feels like right there. So you get a little bit of pivot side to side and a ball joint moving forward and back. He moves forward and back at the hips on both sides, moves out about that far as I can tell at the hip, but this side won't move at all. You can see this side goes out, this side doesn't. So I'm going to have to use the boiling water trick. Basically what you do is boil some water, put this in there, hopefully that loosens up the plastic, and then you can possibly bend that joint. He does bend here at the knee, but this side doesn't bend at all. Oh, no, there we go. Just had to force it a little bit. So I do have that, but this side is still locked into place. But at least I did show you that can actually bend, which is nice. For the feet, they just rotate side to side. They don't actually have any pivot or anything like the Catwoman figure did. So It's unfortunate. I mean, it can be a bit of a pain getting him to stand, but you can do it. And actually, that doesn't look too bad. It's almost like you need to have the legs spread out to be able to do it. And because this one doesn't really bend outward about that until that far, it kind of balances it. So in doing so, keep his feet spread a little bit. You angle it forward a little bit just to kind of balance them. You can get him to stand. It's just not perfect. But again, you do have this display piece here, which allows you to clip them on the sides, and you can bring that around, tighten that, and that holds fairly nicely. Now, like I said, at $20 to $25, they are pricey figures. They come with a ton of accessories. The articulation, when it's not kind of stuck in position by paint or whatever, really does look good. And these are probably the best representation of Batman the Animated Series, as well as the new Batman Adventure figures that we've ever gotten. So if you are a fan of that particular franchise, this is a figure that I would recommend all day long. Just know that if you do get this through like a comic book store, you may have a hard time returning it in case you have any problems. If you get it from an online retailer such as Big Bad Toy Store, you probably have a little bit more pull in terms of getting a replacement. So that would be my recommended course for getting these guys. And if you are interested in picking them up, they are available right now at Big Bad Toy Store. So all you have to do is click on the link down in the video description. You'll go to Big Bad Toy Store, where Wave 1 of these figures is in stock, and you can pick them up and have them added to your collection today. But beyond that, guys, that's about it. So once again, I want to thank you for tuning in. This has been Optibotimus. Don't forget that you can keep in touch with me by liking my Facebook page at facebook.com/teambotimus, and by following me over on Twitter at twitter.com/optibotimus. Also, I'd encourage you to check out my new website at optibotimusreviews.com, where you can see all my videos from the previous week, see what I have coming up for future release, and also get your very own Optibotimus t-shirt. And finally, I'd also really appreciate it, guys, that if you like this review, don't forget to please like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, I'll talk to you later.